Hello there, welcome to Being Human, Shaking Up Our Wondrous Being. I'm Ray Coates.
And I'm Tracy Wilson.
Tracy, lovely to be with you. I can already see somebody's joined, so that's amazing.
Oh.
We've only just begun. And I wanted to ask you at the beginning, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. Been trying to do a little bit, get out a bit more walking, and just learning all the businessy stuff that's not quite so enjoyable to do.
That's the work part of what you do, yeah?
Yeah, the email building and all the technical stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always something, isn't it? I know with me, with songwriting, I love it. I love songwriting. I love being in the studio, but there are bits of what I do that are the work side of what I do.
Yeah.
I think that's the same with everything, isn't it?
Yeah, I love working with people, but to get those people in, you need to be doing all the other things.
So true.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's a great beginning, because essentially that's what we're doing. So when I do things like this, that's exactly the reason. Terry, who I've got a very, very good friendship with, Terry, and amazing person, amazing support of what I do creatively, is with us, and I know others will be with us as well. So I think the encouraging topic for what we're talking about this week is, how do we stop the world from spinning out of control? So I've gone a little bit stronger there, a little bit further, that feeling of stop the world, I want to get off, which I think we all have, the hustle, the bustle, the challenges. And as well as us having a discussion around that, I want to put this out to individuals joining now, individuals catching up in replay, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, wherever, the Spotify version. On that, don't panic if we come off screen. We're in there somewhere, and I think we go into a small window. This, hopefully, the audience are seeing the image of the Spotify version of Being Human, Shaking Up Our Wondrous Being. So let me bring it back to us, Tracy. I don't know how that appeared for you. I've got no idea at all. So video, audio, the message is going out, but we want the message to come back. That's the point I'm making at the beginning. We'd love it for people to say, how do you pause? How do you practice the pause? How do you, in a busy life, a busy world, family, work, relationships, how do you manage? Only you on screen then. Right, only me. So that's note to self. Tara's told me that. So that didn't work. So that's the bit you were talking about. So let's make it comments then now. And I think while we give people an opportunity how they pause, can you share some messages with us, please, Tracy, of the work you do, and how you help other people to remain calm and at peace as much as is possible in an ever-moving world?
Yeah, so I am a coach and mentor, but I bring a lot of my knowledge from being in the NHS, health, and just life experience, alongside doing something called belief coding and breath work. With those, we're working a lot more with the subconscious, so that the long-term memory, the part of the brain that's causing us to act a certain way, holds on to the memories, causes us to pull up certain emotions that we might struggle to get rid of sometimes. It's kind of protecting us. And what I do is I help people who are maybe struggling in life, struggling to do the everyday things, like what we're going to talk about here, about, going out for a walk, drinking more water, doing all the things we know we should be doing, and we know seem easy. And some people would say, we'll just do it. But a lot of us have hit a stage in life where that becomes really difficult.
Yeah.
I hit that stage myself. I went from just exercising and being quite proactive as just as just a way that I was, to finding that I had to plan getting out of bed and had to force myself to go out of a walk. And sometimes it might take me a month to do that. What I do is I help people understand why they're having that struggle, not just tell them that they need to do it, but find out why it's such a struggle and help them like unravel that, pick that apart so it becomes easier. So giving them that support that they maybe don't get from anywhere else because everybody else is just telling them, we'll just do it, it's easy. I help them understand why it's not so easy for them.
That's great. Do you know what? And that's such a good point again, because it's one thing being told something, isn't it? As a human being, I often think when people do that, it might give you an insight into my personality. I think, well, if it was that easy, why do you think I'm not doing it? I tend to react a bit when people say, well, just, take some time out, have a, and I think, well, you're making that sound like it's easy, but I think what we're going to move into in a moment is you sharing perhaps some ways that individuals can do that. But I think before that, one thing that came to me a moment ago is we live in a world of, for example, on-demand TV.
Yeah.
Now, I think that actually is a real reflection of society and the system. So therefore, that immediately we've got this constant, and people say, well, let's put the screen down, and don't do so much in the media side of things, for example. But the constant is constant. The constant is constant. The demand is constant. So that's why we chose a really, really important subject. And for me, it's a better relationship with time. And I feel that time is the challenge for most people because of the construct, because of the system and society. So I think in us doing this, we're sharing a message that enables people not to be told, but to be shared with. These are some opportunities that you can create for yourself. Because this demand is constant. This demand is constant. And I think that's where we're coming from, isn't it? Is that reasonable, do you feel?
Yeah, and I think with you saying that about everything being quite on demand at the moment, that's kind of what makes things difficult for us now, because we get everything like that. At a snap of a finger, we can have something delivered or whatever. So when it comes to doing things that need to be done consistently to keep on top of, we don't have the patience for it. We're going through life now with that instant gratification. So with doing things like eating well, dieting, exercising, doing things that might take a few months for you to get that gratification at the end, we give up really quick because our brains are now programmed that we want things now. So even when we're trying to be patient and trying to do it, it's like the brain doesn't feel comfortable because it's like, well, I'm used to it, I want it now. So then we give up, we self-sabotage.
This morning, I can't go into detail, and I'm not going to because it's confidential, but I was working, delivering some driver training, and the individual said about they acknowledged that they were struggling with patience in regard to their progress, their development. Yeah. And what I was doing was helping them to see the achievements, the success thus far. Because again, I think I've done it myself. I do it musically. I'm going to be really, really open and honest here. I want thousands and millions of people to listen to my music. Now, the thousands are beginning to happen, but there have been times where it's like, I want more, and I want that now. I want that now. It's reminded me of the character, I think it's Veruca Salt in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I want, you know what I mean? I want it now.
We're all that character because that's the way the world is. Everything's so quick now. We don't want to wait for things. Even the things that we know take time to see. It's making us really impatient. And I go
So,
through it as well. I have to do a lot of work around it myself to overcome these things. So yeah.
so back to time, and I feel again, I'm just going to make this comment before we move on. Individuals who are watching live now, individuals who are catching up in replay, comment, like, subscribe, follow, become involved, because this is just the first two words, being human. So yes, myself and Tracy are here, we're doing this, but we want to hear from you, for you to bring things that you can share of what works for you, or perhaps if you feel there's something that was mentioned and you think that was really, really helpful. We want to create a shared experience. So you're going to do that for us, Tracy, and I'm really, really looking forward to some practical, realistic tips as to what we can do when we're feeling that constant
some people will
demand.
listen to these, and you'll get the one type of person will go, well, this I don't need to pay somebody to help me with this. We know we need to do this, but it's not the knowing, it's the doing that's the hard. It's the being consistent with it that's the hard, and that's what the people that don't do it. It's not because they don't know they have to do it. It's because other life's taken over and it's become difficult. That's what it is. So, and some people will listen to these and go, well, my problems are far too big for these simple things to resolve. And they're not necessarily going to resolve all life issues, but they'll help you be a little bit more resilient to move through certain things so you can handle things better.
Excellent. Looking forward. Yeah, please.
So, as we said, you've got to want to start. You've got to start. There's no point. A lot of people will sit about and say, well, I'll do it when I feel better. That's never going to happen, and I'm not being negative.
No.
You've got to do it when you don't feel like doing it. Before the motivation doesn't come until you've started. You've got to start with a little bit of discipline and bringing it into your life. So acknowledge how you're feeling, acknowledge why you're feeling that way, and just try and make little changes along the way that just help you. Not necessarily cure it, but just help you along. One of the first things is movement and like your environment. Daily walking, light exercise, again, simple, but we know we need to do it. It's that emotion is just energy in the body, and when we're stagnant, if we're not expressing ourselves, but also if we're not moving around, it's not being able to move out of us. It's just simply making sure you're planning a 20-minute, half an hour, an hour's walk in the morning, at the end of the day. Schedule it in and commit to yourself, whether you're feeling like it or not. It's okay saying, I don't have time. We do all have the time. It's just what we're doing it with that time and how we're managing it. We can all find time to watch rubbish on TV and have a scroll on the internet, whether we admit to it or not, but we all do it. It's just making that commitment to ourselves to make the time.
Can I pause you there for a moment?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be using in the Spotify version of this a few songs, and I've just chosen one based on what you've shared, which is by an artist named Kate Deneen, Irish singer, absolutely incredible singer-songwriter. She's written a song called Doom Scrolling.
Oh, wow.
So that's going in the Spotify version of this. And I'm also going to share a couple of other songs about time, the subject of time, But there was something you said that influenced me a moment ago, which is this. I remembered that I've had a tendency for a period of time to say, I'm going to try and go to the gym today.
Yeah, you've got to.
It's exactly, almost like that I'm going to try and go to the gym counts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The trying.
Brain is very literal, so if you're saying trying, you'll always just be trying.
Yes.
It's got to be very matter of fact. I am doing this. Your brain goes, oh yeah, it means business, but that's what we're doing. It'll just keep trying.
Exactly. That's it. So, intention and endeavour without action. And when you also said motivation is once you've begun.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was really, really profound, because it's easy to think of motivation as what we need before we do something.
Well, I had a lot of people used to say that.
Mm,
I wish I had your energy. I wish you had your motivation when I was like working out all the time, and it used to be quite easy to me. But that was discipline. That wasn't motivation. Some
yeah,
days I didn't want to do that.
yeah, yeah. Brilliant.
Motivation comes when you start seeing the results. Once you start feeling that gratification, and you think, "Oh, I want more of that," so you keep doing it. It's when the momentum starts to build.
Completely.
So
So
if you're
momentum.
waiting for the motivation, it's never going to arrive.
No, that's true.
You've got to
That's true.
do
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Reality true. This is being human. So I think we're going to
yeah,
move on to the next thought, but I'm just going to encourage people before we do, which is chip in. Chip in. It doesn't have to be now. It can be after we've finished. But chip in. Chip in with some
yeah,
thoughts and comments. So go on, please, Tracy.
yeah. So the other thing is, have a look around you at what your environment's like, your house. Your environment's kind of mirroring what's going on in your mind. And usually, I know myself, when my mind's a bit of a mess, the house is usually a bit of a mess too.
Mm, mm,
So also set some time aside, not to say I'm going to clean this whole house, because that will never, ever happen.
mm,
Remove the overwhelm. Say, I'm going to tackle the bathroom today. I'm going to tackle that drawer down the stairs that I've not been in. Just tidying and organising something gives you that quick bit of gratification. Look what I've done today. Look how good that feels. Then your brain's like, let's do it again. That's when the momentum starts to come, because you've given yourself that quick bit of gratification of just clearing out that drawer. And then your brain's like, oh, I enjoyed that. Let's do another part. Whereas when we say we're going to do the whole house, the brain's waiting for that gratification and ends up giving up because it takes too long to see the end result. We give it the small wins along the way.
wow.
Um,
Removing the overwhelm. Removing the overwhelm. So when you said that, I was placing myself again in life situations, and I'm sure others are as well, where you've had to declutter or rearrange parts of the house, and that action of moving things, but compartmentalizing that. So again, I'm going to refer. Terry's made a comment, which is clear space, clear
yeah,
mind.
yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
I
That's so
think a
true,
lot of
isn't it?
people look at people that are tidy and clean and really organised and think that they love the cleaning part, they love the tidying. But most of them, I would say, and this is me just projecting what I think from my perspective, is people that seem to always have everything organised and cleaned. Their vision's on that end result. So they're not thinking about the doing, they're already feeling good of it being finished. They're already feeling how amazing it feels to have done it. Whereas the people
Mm.
that are put off are focused on the doing, and they're not thinking of how it feels at the end. It's just
And
switching how you're looking at it.
again, in the arena I'm in of driver training at times, that's a progressive steps that I encourage people to take, because they, for example, I work with people that have severe anxiety, if not phobia, around driving on a motorway.
Yeah,
Now, that's a challenging place to have that phobia, because there's no escape.
yeah,
It's not like having a concern over parking. You know,
no,
you can. It's a bit slower. It's a bit in that environment. Once you're on, it is generally a couple of miles before you can get off. Yeah,
yeah,
and you're in the situation. So what I'm working with them and doing is removing the overwhelm. So we do tend to do it in steps, stages. So it's a bit like, I think what I'm sharing with you, which I know you know anyway, this works in all areas of life, doesn't it?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Removing that overwhelm. But these are practical tips of things that we can do that could be indicators of we're
yeah,
feeling overwhelmed. Start looking around us, as you shared. So
yeah.
really
Break
good.
it down.
I'm feeling, honestly, I'm not just saying it, Tracy, I know you know this, I'm feeling there is incredible value in what you're sharing.
Yeah, again, it's like when I'm saying it, like even when I read it myself, I think it's simple things, but even I forget to do them.
True.
When I
Yeah.
go through a month where I think, oh, I've been feeling a bit rubbish this week, and I start looking over my routines, I've not been doing all these things. You know, it's the simple things.
The only reason the other hand's not up is because I'm holding my bottle of water. Yeah.
That's good. We're
So yeah,
have it.
we
We're
carry
going
on.
to go on to water very soon as well.
Yeah. Brilliant.
The other thing I've got is like your social energy. Notice who you spend time with, and when I say that, I don't just mean in person, online. Even when you're scrolling through your Facebook, are the people that you're reading things that have put posts up, do they make you feel like good and energized, or do you get annoyed and want to like tell them to shut up and then go away feeling irritated by them? And it's not about cutting people out of your life, but just make sure there's a balance. Make sure that you're reducing the people that you don't need to see or hear from that often. Reduce them and make sure you're going into groups, whether physical or online, where people make you feel motivated, let you see, give you more optimism. People that have got a kind of similar outlook, that they're trying to do something good with their life. Somebody that makes you feel, it's not about masking, but just some people that let you see that you can get through something rather than staying stuck. You just need to make sure you've got a balance. So have an overlook at, in my life, what is draining me, what's energetically lifting me up, and what's bringing me down, and try and balance it out.
Would it be reasonable to say that I think what the practices you're sharing is almost is making me think a little bit of like journaling food. So when people have a reaction to certain things, they've got something with them, and then they check what they're doing to see if what
give
the
it
particular
a mark out of 10 to see how you feel each day, and see what foods that you've had on that day, what it could be that could be causing a flare up. Do that with your life.
Yeah.
Do that with all areas of your life. Everything that's constant in your life, give it a mark out of a 10. And if it's a 1 out of 10 and it doesn't need to stay, start kind of getting it out. You just change things, just adapt things.
Do you know what? I got a question for you. I wonder, I don't think there's probably an answer to this, but I wonder what the trade-off of time invested in doing that. So that's time well spent, fact. I'm not even questioning whether that's time well spent. Basically journaling your life and seeing the toxic things that affect us.
Yeah.
What do you think possibly could be the trade-off of the short-term time spent doing that against, even though I don't think the word against is good, the long-term benefit of doing that?
You're going to create so much more time for you, because those things that have been draining you, usually the time that you don't have, when I hear people saying they don't have time, it's usually mental time, because of everything they're holding in their minds, the people that have annoyed them, the people that have irritated them and then caused them to procrastinate. Once you remove those things or those situations or people, or reduce them, you start freeing up headspace, which is time as well.
Yeah.
Because you're cutting back on that procrastination and the walking about, like reeling about things that have annoyed you in the day, because you're taking control of the situation.
It makes next easier.
Yeah.
So if I've cleared one room, that makes the next room easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. All areas. Physical, mental.
I think you can tell I'm just a little bit excited, and honestly, the most simple things are often the most profound things.
Yeah, it's just really simple things done consistently that will change your life. The other thing is, like, the people that you do have around you, the people that the good people, they love you, they mean well. They're not always the right people for you when you need to express, or you're feeling upset or emotional, because they're, as humans, we're all, as much as we want to help others, we're also first and foremost looking after how we feel unconsciously. We're always doing it for ourselves. So if somebody's upset, you'll usually find you'll try and cheer them up. Now, consciously, you think you're doing that because it's to help them, but you're not. You're trying to cheer them up because you feel uncomfortable that they're upset. But they need that moment to be upset. They need that moment to express themselves, whether it's anger, cry, say how they feel, without somebody trying to fix it. So what I'm saying is, like, family and friends, like close family and friends, aren't always the best ones. I wasn't the best person for like my sister, my brother. They weren't the right ones for me because we were all going through different things, and we all struggled to see each other struggle. So you instantly try and fix each other. So even I was in that place. To make sure you've got people around that you're able to express to, talk to, that aren't going to try and fix you, but are there to listen, guide, support, but not try and give you a quick fix to make you feel better. They just give you an outlet. Make sure you've got those people.
That's great. Before you move on again, I definitely want to hold out that thought, replay, catching up. Even in Spotify, people can make comments in Spotify, so people that are listening now. And I want to accentuate that because I see the Spotify version as a car opportunity, safely.
Yeah.
I really, really do. Because YouTube medium visual, of course, not great for the car unless the car's stationary. But audio, people can check back in and they can get the value from. So I think there's so much that you're sharing here that's valuable for others to respond to. You know, even moving forwards, there could be the opportunity case where somebody's watching this or listening to it and they think, do you know what? There was that tip or this idea that was presented, and that really, really helped me, and it helped me in this way, and to do this. So share. Because there's masses of practical benefit. I've done tons of personal development. I'm a qualified coach and mentor. As I'm listening to you and as we're talking, it's coming to me, all of these practical benefits, and that's a fundamental part of being human. One, in the literal sense, and two, with what we're sharing here, fundamentally, very much so. How many more have you got? Because I think there's already a lot there, which is brilliant.
I think there's just another couple.
Go, please. Yeah. Wow.
So the other thing is journaling. And a lot of people will be like, oh, journaling, that's something that I never used to do. But there's a lot to be said about just getting it out of your head and onto paper. Not to resolve it, not to try and pick it apart, but just whatever you're thinking, it's there anyway. So just write it down. And often once you start writing it down, you can start to go, oh, actually, I'm feeling that way because of this, this, and this. That's no longer happening anymore. I don't need to think about that. You start to see things from a different perspective and kind of weigh things up, and you're able to put things aside. Whereas when it's just going over in your mind, everything that's going through your mind that's creating a thought then creates a feeling, which then creates a behaviour. So once you start tackling those thoughts, you can start tackling how you're feeling. Whereas if you don't assess it or you don't try and do anything, those thoughts are just running away with themselves, which then the feelings are running away with themselves, and then your behaviours. It's just a constant knock-on effect. So just journaling, talking to someone else, getting a coach and going through all these things just helps you to kind of organise these things and take a bit of control back, take some control back over, so that your body doesn't start reacting to things that are no longer actually relevant in your life, because that is it is happening.
That's a different kind of momentum. That's negative momentum. It's like trying to catch up with a speeding train. So once thought, feeling, behaviour, it's like, whoa, this is running now. This is running now. This is running away. So catching those thoughts in the initial stages. Yeah. Wow. Yep. Yeah.
We've already been into a little bit about the media. I've got it down here as media diet. So going through and making sure the things you're following make you feel good or give you some sort of positive impact. It's not about having it, like we said, toxic positivity, but also some of those groups. I know I was in support groups for Graves' disease. and they actually made me worse because everybody there was just focused on staying stuck. There wasn't any talk and belief that we could make ourselves, like, do things to make ourselves better. Some people stay in the negative a little bit too much. It's about being able to assess the negative, but be able to go, right, but what can we do to feel a bit better and bring in new steps? You need both.
Yeah.
Like we've mentioned before, pausing before reacting. If someone triggers you, notice how you feel inside. Your reaction might reveal deeper things going on. So the person might be doing something that's out of order, but there's a very big difference between saying you're out of order and then being able to drop it and going away and feeling like it's annoying you all day. That usually comes down to something else, or that they've triggered an emotion that's familiar and feels uncomfortable, and your body's still trying to deal with it. It's not been processed. So if you can't deal with that yourself, that's when you need to maybe start reaching out to someone else like myself, other coaches, therapists, or anything, to work out why it's becoming a big thing. And it's not necessarily just a one-off. You know, we all fly off the handle one-off, but when it's becoming like a theme in your life where you can't control it, and it's becoming more uncomfortable to you than the person you're annoyed at, there's more you can do so that it doesn't feel as uncomfortable to you. And you're doing it for you, you're not doing it for them. And we've covered that before a lot.
Last time was really, really strong on that. Really, really strong. So anybody watching this, arriving here for the first time, check out previous episode around the subject. You were talking around forgiveness, and sometimes it's easy to think of forgiveness as being of benefit to the other person, but actually the forgiveness and the surrendering, the letting go for the benefit of ourselves, the power of ourselves. And that was my way of kind of encapsulating last week's episode of the power and the reason behind it. Not just, it makes us a good person, or it's good for the other person, or it's about us. It's about us and our health and our well-being and our outlook and continuing life. So that was really powerful.
Yeah, and one of the other things is breathing. Something we do every day, but I never realised how much the breath matters. And I've started. I'm training to be a breathwork trainer, and there's various different types of breathwork, but you can do deep breathing yourself. So it's not just about the normal everyday breath, because what's happened over time is, as babies, if you watch a baby sleeping and they're breathing, you can see their stomach rising, you can see them taking a full breath. As we've got older and evolved, most of us, if you ask anybody where do you breathe from, they'll say there. And that's because we've all started to breathe really shallow. And that can make us feel nervous, anxiety and everything, because we're not taking those full breaths. So consciously making yourself do breathing, and that can be basic box breathing. So like in through the nose, out through the mouth, in for 4, hold, and then releasing. You can find YouTube videos, you can find all online for more information, so that you can do those steps yourself, just breathing in and breathing out the full breath. What I do with the Vanta breath work is it's more working with the subconscious and the emotions. So you're breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth, and you're really filling up the belly, bringing it up into the chest, and you're letting it go. It's allowing you to trigger those unprocessed emotions and kind of deal with them in a different way, so that you're not having to talk them out, but you're giving them another outlet so that they can move through the body. So through doing that type of breath work, it's called conscious connected breathing. It allows people to have more of a release. So they might cry, scream, they might just do whatever they need to do in that moment to release it from the body. And some people can find that quite uncomfortable, and they've said to me, oh, I don't want to do it if it's going to make me cry. But the fact is, it's because we think crying is uncomfortable, or the release is uncomfortable. But what's uncomfortable is what you're carrying around. When you're walking about trying not to cry, trying not to express, that's where the discomfort is. Often when you just do it, in a healthy way, you're fine after that. You kind of had a release. It's
Yeah.
like, right, okay, I can keep going now. It doesn't resolve everything, but it resolves it better than just holding it in. So getting into practices like, some people might enjoy yoga. I'm not particularly a yoga person. So I would rather go and do some weightlifting or go a run or do breath work. But breath work is an amazing thing, and there's so many different styles. Some might be just more meditative to relax you. Some might give you that emotional response. So finding something that suits you. If you're not exercising a lot but you need an outlet, building in something like that, especially if you're not into meditation. I'm not big into sitting meditating, but I'll maybe meditate when I'm walking. If I'm out walking, I'll be in a state, or when I'm doing breath work, that gives me the kind of feeling of meditation, but makes me feel like I'm doing a little bit more as well. So just doing things like that, and you can do it in about 10, 20 minutes a day. So you could do it first thing in the morning or at night. Again, all these things you can just fit into your day, but find the things that work for you and commit to yourself, whether it's waking up an hour earlier to get both in first thing in the morning or doing it before you go to bed at night. Just commit to yourself and say, right, I'm going to tick that off today. All these things, it's just about fitting them in where you can so that they just become natural. They just become like brushing your teeth in the morning. We never ever turn around and say, oh, I've got time to brush teeth, because we've scheduled that into our day already. It's like programmed. Same with like having our lunch, having our tea. These are things that we've done over time that have just become natural, and all these things can be done the same.
Because of course, thought, feeling, behaviour is not just a bad thing, is it?
No.
That also there's a good side to that as well. Thought, feeling, behaviour. So if we begin, of course, everything begins with a thought. Feel what that will feel like. Take the action. Move into the motivation that you've talked about. So I think a couple of parting questions. One is, without putting you on the spot, do you think there would be the potential of you sharing a breathwork exercise opportunity for us within what we do here? So something that fits within. So I think that would be really good. So for those watching, those catching up in replay, come back, because we potentially, by the listening of you saying yes, we could actually do a session of some description.
We could do, I could take you through certain breathwork techniques that people could do, because the sessions I do, they're a little bit more deeper, and they would be more done in a kind of private setting in a smaller group.
Totally. I'm thinking a taster, a breath taster.
We could put together a few different types of breath work that you can just do in your everyday that are more calming, something that can calm. Because these things, you can find them anywhere, and it's just basic breathing techniques that you can just kind of filter in to make you feel a little bit better, to make sure, just to reset. So we could just do little things like that.
The Spotify version might be interesting of that, because obviously I've got pictures of how it could work out, but I think that might be quite nice to do at some point. The other thing I'm thinking is for next time, because again, so that is actually the same time as this week. So a week today, isn't it? Yeah. The 23rd of August, 2 p.m, as people are watching, as people are replaying, as people are listening in Spotify. There might be people who join us in Spotify who think I'd like to go to the YouTube version of that. So Spotify, you will find Being Human, Shaking Up Our Wondrous Being. You'll find us there. The 4th episode coming soon at time of recording. You will also find us YouTube at Ray Coates Voice. Tracy, you're across social media platforms as you?
Yeah, and I've got a website inspired by tlcwilson.com, which has got all the different coaching services and belief coding, breathwork. I do one-to-one breathwork sessions, and I do group breathwork sessions as well. So if you want a taster to come along for one of those things, I'm actually doing them at a reduced rate just now because I'm also training to be a trainer in breathwork. But that kind of gives you a taster of having a deeper breathwork session. And like when I said earlier on about not doing that type of breathwork on a live like this, and it's more because for safety issues, I need to see
Yeah.
the person. I need to be able to see that they're okay because it goes to those deeper states. So that working with me on a one-on-one or small group online, well, it's all online. It means I can make sure you're safe and that you're safe and that you're able to move through those emotions and get what you need from it.
Well, I'll thank everybody for being with us, whether that's live, whether that's catching up replay. We're going to leave these videos, audio, permanently there, so there will be people who can catch up with us anytime. Thank you, Tracy, and I'm going to ask you to conclude with final word from you, which is good. I would like you to share what you think next time will be. So a week today, Saturday, August the 23rd, 2 p.m, YouTube, Facebook, etc., etc. What do you think will be the discussion then?
I had wrote down from habits to identity. So this week we've worked on these making little habits and changes, but what can be quite hard to stick to these things are we've been stuck in a previous identity, even if it's a negative identity. It's what people have known of us. So, and it's what we've known of ourselves. And when we start making changes, there can be little things, people trying to pull us back to how we used to be. Our subconscious tries to pull us back to what we've always been, even though we need a positive change. So it's about creating that new identity so that it's safe to continue with it, so that you're not going to self-sabotage and that you notice all those little telltale signs that might pull you back. When people start to try and give up drinking or give up smoking, but they're still around people that expect them to do those things, it'd be very hard to give up that identity because you're still amongst the people that might still have a similar identity. So it's being able to just manage that so that you're able to move forward with as little restriction as possible.
Wonderful. Look forward to that next time. Thank you again, Tracy. Thank you everyone for joining us, and just encourage everybody in the deepest level possible. Keep being the wonderful human beings that you are. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Technology. My mouse keeps freezing, and we're still here. And you know what? Things not working is part of being human too. See you next time. Bye-bye.